A very warm welcome to each and everyone in this session. I mean, this session means a lot to me and a lot to the effort that. So I really welcome you to this session on ensuring certainty in uncertain time. Now, certainty and uncertainty both are a part of life we have all gone through, but there's one thing common that we are going through now is that we all are in an uncertain situation, and directly or indirectly we all have been hit. So in this session of 1 hour we are going to navigate that how we can make the most of these kind of situations, because apart from my college days, whatever days I have spent outside, it's always been uncertain because I was planning to get into the armed forces. I will show you some of my photos and pics, which will help you to connect. And everything was uncertain, starting from getting into having that idea to join the armed forces in the Indian Navy to become an officer, to going for the interviews, to getting selected into the top 28 and top 29 among those top-notch people across the whole country. And these are all class one officers posts that I was planning to join in and to become an Indian Navy officer. So just getting you to the next slide, a short intro about myself. I'm a professional speaker and a trainer. I've mentored more than 3,000 students across the length breadth of this country. And these 3,000 students were specifically from K-12. And I've actually got to know of how students think and what is their need in depth. Because I was working in an organization at that point of time, which was dealing with K-12, and I got this amazing opportunity to mentor them. Then I went on to an organization where I was a global learning consultant. So I was in consulting and in sales. And all my clients, all the professionals that I deal with were CEOs, managing directors, executives, mid-level managers, just newbies who have just joined the corporate. And it was across 150 countries. So I have a diverse experience starting from Australia, Asia Pacific, Middle East, Africa, UK, you name it, I have it. So these kind of scenarios and the commitment that I've seen from people, from professionals, and the way that they have scaled up really, gives me the motivation to work and train professionals. So coming, this is something that really, really important to me. This slide I like to show that I've learned a lot from the armed forces. I mean, a lot. If you see this photo, it was in Indian Navy officer selection 2014, and the amount of exposure that I got here, so almost 6 years back, was something that helped me to create the base of what I'm doing now. Otherwise, would have just been a dream, and it would have not been a possibility that at this young age I've been mentoring and training professionals. And the later photo that you see here is of the Indian Army officer selection. We were into the top-notch selection base in Allahabad, UP. The top 28 you can see, sorry, the top 29 you can see here. Amazing journey it was have been. I mean, from getting selected from across the country to top 500 580 candidates, then to top 28, and then eventually to zero. Yeah, they even reject everyone if they don't feel the requirement. So that is how my journey was, and it has been ups and downs, total uncertainty, decision I had to make in split seconds in order to make sure that my survival in this selection journey remains. So that has given me a lot of exposure. I did my BTech from Silicon Institute of Technology. Many of my juniors, my seniors, my friends are here in this session, who are a part of this session. So thank you so much for joining in. My college life has also shaped me. I've been a topper when I was going through my college days, but that was only to join in these services, because toppers are actually given the first preference just so that they can join in, and then the later stage continues of survival. The next thing I would like to say that when I was going through all these kind of scenarios, I was also getting trained under ex-army and ex-navy professionals when I was in Bhubaneswar. That also helped me to drive my path. So yes, coming to the point, that the points that we are going to covering now is, I have really thought about that what can be really important in these times. We as a professional, when we have our normal jobs, we go to a 9 to 5 jobs, whether you are a professional working in an MNC or whether you're a college student or whichever experience that you have, we have a daily routine. But for me, it was never like that. I used to do for colleges, and I used to get trained for ex-army and ex-navy professionals, and then I used to deep dive into traveling across the country to become an officer, depending on the selection basis. So it was never for me that I had a subtle kind of a life routine that never happened to me. So VUCA World was always there with me from last 2 to 3 years. And there's one key element to sail you through. Uh, last 4 months we are going through a tough and uncertain times, and I was planning to expand offline in here in Bangalore. I was in good touch with colleges and corporates. That made me realize that there's a huge possibility and I can actually create an impact. But then this COVID situation came in, and because of which the college and professionals requested me to hold this session till a time when all these things are sorted and we can get back to normal. So what is that one thing that helped me to do these kind of sessions? Because it is something also new to me. If it is new to you, I've seen principals, I've seen professors, I've seen organizations who have been shifting their domain from offline to totally online. It was not of their curriculum or strategy that they've planned for 2020. This happened, and this happened. And what is the exact one thing which is going to drive you throughout the process? And the third thing is leveraging your network. I mean, I've been leveraging my network from the starting of this year, and that's the reason why I'm able to bear the fruits of whatever I'm able to do, connecting professionals, connecting students, and creating an impact. So again, I'll stop sharing my screen so that again I can, have a look at the video sessions with every one of you. I want to have a look at every one of you, and if anyone's joining, I will be happy to enroll them and entertain them. So and the topic like ensuring certainty in uncertain times. So I just be bear with me because I will always give the examples of armed forces because that's what I belong to, that's what I wanted to go. But if you see that I have specs now, because of which I can't go into the armed forces. So if you ever had this question that why I can't go into the armed forces and why can't you apply again, Pritam, if you're so confident, you're doing so many things, then that's because of this. The criteria to get in the armed forces is very, very strict. Now, no matter what I do, it's not going to be possible. So if it is not going to be possible, then why not to leverage what I've learned? And with this session, if you have seen the 2014 batch, we have Mr. Aditya Nath as well. He is also from that batch, and he's been a dear friend of mine from 2014 till now. So that's how the bonding that we have with ourselves and the community that I build, and I make sure that I build a long-term community. So this COVID situation has affected all of us. I came to Bangalore to be a professional speaker and trainer. Everything was going fine. Things were on path. But if you are a professional, if you are a college-going student, which there are professionals who are working into the IT and people who are doing consulting and have their own businesses. Whatever kind of business it is, whether you have your own school, whether you're doing your own consulting, or whether you're doing a job, or you're just looking for an opportunity to get into a corporate, whatever it is, it has been affected and affected in a very, very bad way. Nobody could ever imagine that this will ever happen. But that's how this world operates, and I've been a part of this. But there is one thing, when there is a dip down in something, whether it's offline, there is an increase in the other thing that is online. And that's exactly the reason why we are joining in, right? I make this whole session possible. So that's how it is increasing. Yes, it is increasing slowly, and there will be a dip which will be economically, and the opportunities will go to a down, which is now. But if you see the current scenarios, the schools, colleges, corporates, everything had transitioned into online. So they're also gearing up to make the most of it. Now, to going through everything, we all, if you have been in 2008, sorry, you have been 2008, you have gone through the economic recession at that point of time as well. That's how you recovered. But now it's because of the health effect as well. You fear to go out even, and hence everything is restricted from your home. There are students who wanted to join corporates, who wanted to get themselves placed, couldn't do that. There are principals, there are teachers who wanted to have their students enrolled in these schools and colleges. Not possible. I wanted to go and do sessions offline, not possible. If that is how the world is going to be, and we feel that we are going to go back to the normal world, which is a complete myth. We can never go back to the complete world because of the certain degree of change which is already permanent. Yes, we will be having offline sessions, we will be having offline classes, we will go to the work, we will do presentations maybe offline. But whatever that happens, one shift is already done, and because of which the corporates have actually seen that there is a economic rise, operational cost has decreased, and that is also a good example of how they're leveraging this thing. So coming to the VUCA world, that stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. This is actually a term that was coined in 1987. So if we can see, that was the time wherein people got to know across the world that the world is going to be uncertain. If you see your parents' age, if you see even Mr. Deep's age when he was like a young, passionate guy, he was working on himself, at that point of time, we were in a situation wherein not much opportunities were there. If you see Henry Ford, if you've heard about Henry Ford and the assembly line that he built, that industrial revolution that came in the first industrial revolution was totally focused on creating individuals with a certain degree of task. That's all. You don't have any creativity, you don't have your own say, you don't have your own creating your own opportunities. You just have to do, maybe tightening a screw, painting a car shield, maybe getting things intact, or whatever it is, directly contacting the customer, going through the assembly line. That was in a structured way, and that structure was fixed. Nobody had ever the right to think beyond what was in the box. That's why this also the formula that comes into play, that we all often discuss, that think out of the box. Why we discuss this? We discuss this think out of the box because time and again things are now changing very, very rapidly, and as that happens, we have to make sure that we make the most of it. And I have some notes with myself, so I'm going to refer to them so that I make sure that I can have the continuity over the flow. So going back to the industrial age, when this primitive times were working, we never thought that we'll have these kind of opportunities. But now at this point of time in 2020, the things that we can leverage is amazing. I've been working in organization where I've seen these all these four features of volatility, uncertainty, uh, ambiguity, and everything. They were a part of it. I've been to organization where startups were booming. They are now unicorns. Okay, they are being featured in top 50 unicorns, and the strategies and exposure was changed every 15 days. So that structure that I was talking about of Henry Ford, which was there for years and decades, were now being broken into every 15 days to make sure that the revenue keeps coming in and the company keeps growing and they keep creating an impact. So volatility and all this part have gone through this journey. So if if you're unstable in this kind of situation, if you are not able to predict, from my experience in sales, if that is we are going through, then this is what VUCA World stands for. Look around yourself, look around the experiences that you're going through. This is nothing but the VUCA World. But how do you make the most of it? I mean, complexity will always be there. If you now take a problem that you want to give sessions to your students from your home, there are not one problem. When you clear that one problem, you see to deep down, there are hundreds of more problems that needs to be solved so that the equal level of operational functionality can be maintained again and again in the same way, and it does not hamper your revenue impact. And if that is something that we are looking for, what are the key things that we should be taking from the VUCA world, which is going to help us grow, right? So you can always let me know. You can always chat. Okay, there's a chat section as well. So yeah, I can see that. So coming to the points of VUCA world, we I would like to really focus on the last point, that is ambiguity. There was a time when we used to think that one size fits all, and that's how companies, professionals, and everyone used to market themselves. Even if you go as an individual to look for a job, you try to brand yourself and market yourself in a sense that you make yourself unique. So that term of one size fits all is gone. Now, if you see the organizations, the multiple organizations who are billionaires, like Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all these companies makes you and gives you the things on your own demand. So they are structuring out every single thing based on your behavior. That's how these big organizations deal with the VUCA world. One size fits all of ambiguity is all gone. There used to be a time when we used to think about black and white. Nobody used to question anything else, either yes or no. That's what you have to do. But now people are also looking ahead. Hey, can I do something in the gray area? There used to be pink, so sorry, there used to be red and white. Okay, but now there's pink. And people think, can I do something creative in the pink region? Earlier people used to say, okay, fine. I mean, this is what you want to do. Will you be able to do? How will you be able to do? That is not something that is going to be happening, because you see around, nobody is doing that. Now it is happening. That's how you can make the most of this VUCA world. I cannot explain you a complete VUCA world because there is no a particular explanation to that. You can see that around you. I need not explain you that. But the thing is, what is exactly that you can look for in this gray area? That's something that's going to be really going to be my focus now. So if I'm looking for a VUCA world, and if you're looking for something that I can take something from this, So if you talk about V, okay, I would like to take something out of this, that is vision. We all have a destination. We all have a goal in our mind that where we want to go, right? We all want to achieve something. There is a set limit of target, whether in revenue, whether it's happiness, whether it's family needs, whether it's materialistic needs, whatever it is. We have a need of that. But when we have a need of that, can we have a vision at this point of time when things are going wrong? I believe you all, as you've joined in, you all are optimistic people. You all want to do something that is going to create an impact. And if that is so, how do you do it in this pandemic, in this lockdown, and in this VUCA world? It was coined almost 23 years ago, but it is now, it's not only affecting organization, it's affecting you and your pocket. And if that is happening, what is your vision? What is your goal? That's the first thing. I really want this session to be very, I would say, introspective. You have to introspect and then see and write it down how it is going to help you. First thing is vision. From uncertainty, I bring it down to understanding. How you can understand this current situation for each one of us from different parts of this country we're joining in. But understanding the scenario, the opportunity, is something that is going to take you to a long way. The way we are successfully planning this session of professionals, of like juniors I like have from colleges, of consultants across the country. And if that is the case, how you are going to understand the situation, the current situation, and then work upon that. So I'll just share you one small incident that I got, also a learning lesson from an Indian Navy officer. So after my college days, okay, I used to go for running. I used to go for long runs. I used to plan that I will run at least 3 to 5 kilometers. But hard, barely I could run, 500 to 600 meters at a stretch. And because of which, and this is a very important need in the armed forces, you have to be fit. I used to do that, but I couldn't always stretch to 3 to 5 kilometers. I always used to question the ex-army professional and the ex-navy professional that what should I do? I'm looking at the long term. I have a vision in mind, the V. I have an understanding that this is what I want to do. But how I do it? Do I have a clarity of that? That's the C, right? And then how can I adapt? He said me one thing, Pritam. When you have a big picture in mind, you have a vision, you have understood what you want to do. Now you have a clarity. That's the reason why you're asking me. And now, as you're asking me, you want to adapt yourself. And if that's something you have to do, work it backward. Okay. Okay. I asked him, work it backward. I didn't understand that. Work it backward means five kilometers. That's what you want to run, right? At a stretch, right? Yeah, that's what I want to learn, sir. If that's the case, what it will take you to have go through the whole journey in terms of what you're doing in your daily habits, your food, the food that you eat, the time that you get up, the people that you associate with, and the energy and the motivation that why you want to go ahead these 5 kilometers. Work it back. Try to do, you're doing 300 meters, sorry, 300 meters, that's fine. 300 meters is amazing. Why not to do it 400 meters and 500 meters and then stop and check what was my ability, how much I can grow and go beyond this. If I can do that, so if I can do that, then why not? So that's what work it backward. I was discussing with a marketing professional, and I said that this is a course that I want to launch, and I need at least 1,000 enrollment by the end of this year. So he said, okay, for 1,000 enrollment by the end of this year, that is the figure of views you need to have in your own product. I said, how much? He said, 1 lakh, minimum of 1 lakh views that you need to have unique views in your product so that you can work it out. I said, okay, that's a big number. Can I even achieve that? I have a vision. Now again, VUCA. I have an understanding of what I'm doing. I'm getting the clarity of how you're dealing with me, but how will I adapt? That's the question. And then he said, let's again work it backward. 5 months remaining, 1 lakh views, structure it out every single month. How many views you want per month? How many views you want per week? How many will actually pay you to get that course? How many will actually, discuss with you and follow you for the content that you are creating? Then I got down to my weekly strategies, my daily strategies. And as I implement that, I'm growing. That's what I want you to have, because these times are challenging and changing like anything. There are people who might have lost jobs. There are people who are looking for jobs. They are looking for better opportunities. I'm looking for better clients and whatnot. But am I able to adapt or not? That comes in. So that's vision, understanding, clarity, and adaptability. I hope you all were able to understand these four terms. But think now, if these four terms is something that is going to be the deciding factor in the VUCA world in the coming few months, at least a year, then what is that one thing, that is the second point, which is going to drive you? I'm just going to share the screen again. So we're done with all the parts here. But the thing is, when we go through the key elements to sail you through, what's the key element as we talk about the VUCA? Okay, there's one thing which is going to help you to go through all these things is the ability to have a purpose. If you're not having a purpose, how can you go through? I mean, if you don't have a purpose, do you think you will have ever a vision? Do you think that you will have the understanding to do it or the clarity? And if you don't have the above three things, you won't have the adaptability. We all want to do something, but the thing is, we don't have this from our own vision. We lack it, and because of which we're not able to take steps. I will show you at the end of how I am taking steps in order to create my own calling, in order to have disconnect with other things that is around me and connect to what I really want to do. If that is something that we want to do intentionally, if that is the case, how do you have a purpose? Whether your purpose is to get more clients, whether your purpose to get into a corporate, whether your purpose is to deliver a better job, whatever your purpose is, how do you see yourself in these four things, that is vision, understanding, clarity, and adaptability? So this session is not going to be just a whole descriptive session, but it's going to be a self-reflection. If you're not having doing self-reflection on all these points, it's not going to be worth it. That's the thing. So I'm sure that we all have a purpose. So I just want to unmute you guys so that you can discuss with me about your purpose in life, so that we can see of how we can gel with it, if that's fine for everyone. Because we have a small netted community and it's going to be really beneficial. If there anyone who wants to take an initiative, I'll go with Aditya.
Thank you, Pritam.
Yeah.
So I believe my purpose. Oh, first of all, I'm Aditya Nath, and I'm in my final year of psychological counseling. So I'm a student of psychological counseling, basically. So my purpose, I believe, is to work in the field of mental health. Considering the present situation in India, where we don't have a regulatory body for, say, counselors, and psychology itself is a field which is sort of misunderstood in our country. So I will be working in that field, in mental health, to let's say bust the myths, to bring clarity, and also in a way contributing uh, positively to the fact that India is among the most depressed countries in the world. So we need more mental health professionals, and to basically
So
simplify it and make it.
yeah, Aditya, so you have a vision, right? You have a purpose now. So that is because of
Yeah,
an intention, correct?
yeah,
There's an intention
yeah,
that you want to work upon, and then want to create an impact in the whole VUCA series
mm,
that we discussed about, isn't it?
yeah,
So we all want to dive down to the vision that I have. So that deals with a mission, a strategy, and a planning, correct? That's we what learn from the armed forces. So if that is the thing, I mean, we all have our mission that we all started with 2020. If you remember your resolutions, there was a mission, there was a strategy, and there was a planning. We all had that. Whether it is for you to losing weight, to look more beautiful, to create a bigger impact, to earn more money, to help your child get into the best colleges, whatever it is, we all had a vision, and we all had these kind of things, which got hampered in our way. And if all this got hampered in our way, then there's only one thing which is constant now, which is our purpose. This purpose is the only thing which is going to drive you throughout of what you're doing. Based on this purpose, you'll change your mission, you'll change the strategy, and you'll change the planning. But the purpose remains the same. I had the purpose that I'm going to impact people of this X amount of numbers across the globe, whether it's India or abroad. So I changed my mission that offline is not going to be possible. So why not to do it online? I changed my strategy that I cannot go to the colleges and do it, rather than why not to network online. And I had to plan this. I had a total structure plan. I scrapped it out. I made sure that this planning is something that I'm going to deliver in the online medium. So if you see, the purpose remains the same, but the mission, the strategy, and the planning differs. This used to differ, as I just discussed, that every 15 days I was working in organization, everything used to change. That used to happen at that level of every 15 days. And this is now happening in our own life in 2020 as this corona pandemic has hit, right? So people are driven by the purpose, whether you are a company, whether you're a person or an employee. If you're working in an organization, then why you're working? Is there a purpose? Is there a mission that you want to plan out? And if there is, then and how do you change all these things so that your purpose remains the same? That's something that you need to reflect. As Aditya mentioned that he wants to work in the mental health. So definitely the way he thought that in 2020 I'm going to work. He's in the final year. I know him very well. So if you thought that I will do offline sessions, I'll go to corporates and colleges, I'll go and visit people. That is something that's not going to happen, right? So he has to change his mission. He has to change his strategy and then plan accordingly so that he can still go where he wants it to go. So that is the most important thing of the second point, that if you are not having a purpose, it's going to be really difficult. And that's fine. I have mentored students in colleges and students and in schools, and they have said that I don't have a purpose, Pritam. What should I do? I'm just doing a job and I don't feel like I'm really dedicated to something. It's just I'm doing it for a paycheck, Pritam. Come on. You're asking me to have a purpose. Is that even fair? We don't have a purpose, and that's fine, but we all have something for which we really feel good about it. And there's a next video that are going to be coming up on my LinkedIn. But that's something that we all have. Whether for you, Swabiman, whether for you is to get to a big MNC, whether for Lakshmi it is to get into a managerial role, whether it's Sneha for giving and doing some amazing work in the field of content development, whether it's for Mr. Deep to actually bring an impact, whether it's for me to influence people globally. Purpose is still there, but the ways and methods are slowly changing. And that's the core of the second point. It's one thing which will help you to go through it. Now, I know when I used to go through these difficult times and difficult situations, because Aditya knows this very well, if at all, even Lakshmi, his father, his grandfather is from the armed forces. If you know about it, we used to be in this VUCA kind of situation every single moment. People used to get sacked out, okay, coming from thousands of kilometers like anything. And when that used to happen, we used to take decision in split seconds. That will ensure whether we will stay or not. So definitely that was a chaotic situation for us. We were not sure of what is going to happen. But that's when we took the steps in order to make sure that we are surviving in this journey of becoming an officer. I just want to relate that with now. See the world around you. I mean, it has changed like anything. Nobody ever thought that this is what is going to happen. But this chaotic world is something giving us an opportunity to interact. And if I can do that, if I can be so flexible, if I can change my mission, strategy, and planning to do it, then I'm sure that you will be also able to do that. I always relate things from the armed forces because it always applies in whatever I do, right? The third thing that I'm going to really focus on, I'm going to share my screen again, that is on the power of networking. It's going to be of really, really importance, right? I'm just going to share my screen again. So if you see this slide of leveraging your network, this is how I was able to change. So if you feel like why I'm talking about my journey of armed forces, why I'm talking about the other things than actually advising you to go ahead and do that, I can show you what I've done, and that will set you an example for you that you can implement that in your own way. Offline, something that I was planning. If you see everything here, everything is online. Whatever I've done. So if you see here that the session that I'm doing, I was doing a session with Anna College in career guidance, which got more than 999 registration. If you see the collaboration that I've been doing from commanders, from business people, If you see on the extreme top hand right, the Great Asian Online Summit, I'm a speaker here, and also the different training session that I'm doing and podcasts I'm doing. If you see how I am able to leverage my network, okay, on the top left hand side, she's a vice president of a bank. The next one, he is a speaker and a trainer from US. And then next to Mr. Carl, he's having more than 30 years of experience. He's been into US Air Force, and then he's a leadership trainer. Bottom left, we have Mr. Ajay. He's a CEO of two different companies. And then we have Commander Raja, 25 years of experience in the armed forces. So what I'm trying to show you is that if I'm able to leverage my network, you will be able to do that as well. There was a time when we used to do that offline. How we used to do that, whether it was a college function, whether it was a community meet, or whether it was a training program that we used to go. And we used to exchange our cards. If you've ever done that in your history, that we used to have our own business cards and we used to exchange that, thinking that we will get things in return. But that's how we used to network with people in those days. But now, as all these things are not working, and if you know that I have networked with a lot of people with those cards written that Pritam Bhadra is a professional speaker and trainer, and also the cards of my previous companies, most of them go into the bins. We don't really focus on those cards. We take it as a formal gesture with smile and keep it. It's not something that is actually creating impact and making the other person remind that, okay, hey, Pritam is still there. How to leverage the network now is going through online. The way I could find you guys was some from the offline and mostly from the online world, where I was connecting with people over LinkedIn, one of the most amazing networking sites. That has helped me to leverage to a point wherein we don't have not only my card, but my full profile, my full data of what people are thinking about me, of what I have done. And it's not just a card, you'll also get what I'm doing. That helps me build the trust. That helps me getting more opportunities to work for. That helps me to create bigger impact. And if I can do that, can't you do that for your consulting? Can't you do that for your mental health? Can't you do that for your content development, for your job opportunities, for your betterment? That's something that we need to understand. Because if you see that on an average, only 1% of the population here on LinkedIn is actually trying to create an impact and is actually trying to network. Those were the actual examples. I have more than 11,000 followers now on LinkedIn, but that means nothing to me. I'm not able to connect to those. As one human being, I cannot connect to 11,000 people. But whatever I can, I'm doing it, and I'm making sure there is a bond which is established. And if there's a bond which is established, it's going to go a long way. That's how so many people have come in from Ms. Jyoti, from Samiksha, from Nafees, from Avinash, from Sneha, everyone, from Mr. Deep. But are we able to do that? That's the question. We all say, see, these are all looking to be very cliche topics, but this is something that if we can work upon, it's going to change the whole path. And I've actually shown you from my own example, right? So that was actually the end of this session. And I would really ask you guys to open up for questions so that we all as a community can discuss and solve. So first of all, I'd like to go with Mr. Deep.
No, Pritam, I agree to all your points that in this VUCA environment, it's important for us to understand our USP, our passion, and our vision. I mean, you rightly mentioned everything is permanent except change. So, in my opinion, illiterate today is not a one who is not educated to the changes. So, I think it's very important for all of us to be updated in this VUCA environment. I mean, this pandemic has already opened many opportunity for us in the form of online versions. So I think it's high time for us to understand what we actually want to do and convert that into our passion versus our reality. So that's important. I mean, you have to change. You have no other option until or unless change forces you change perfectly.
Right. So actually now
Right.
change is forcing us to change, and that's the reason why we're having this session. It was already there, right? 10, 15 years ago, it was already there. But only a big organization could leverage that because they could see it. We were in a monotonous kind of a job where we are doing the same thing again and again and again and again, thinking that our life is going to be always the same, which never was. And that is exactly the reason why every single time there was a problem that hit your life, you always say, "Mere saath hi kyun hota hai?" It's only now we realize that it's not only with me, the whole world is suffering that. And now, as Mr. Deep said, it's now change actually forcing you to change, right? So, is there anyone else who wants to open up and wants to discuss? I'd love to have them.
Yeah, Pritam, can I take over?
Yeah, sure, Lakshmi.
Yeah, thanks everyone for inviting me into this well-calibrated network. So as Pritam has already mentioned about the defense forces, so I was very much curious at my college days, and even I have attempted more than 3 times into the services selection board. And that has taught me a very well-disciplined manner as a person. Unfortunately, I have not been able to go into the final selection, but today what I am is because of that, what I am rejected for. And I feel very happy to share about on this discussion because it gives me most inspiring thoughts. And whatever Pritam spoke about the things, what is the main purpose, we should understand and work upon that. And I feel that I'm good at management and consulting things in a guided manner. I feel that my communication skills can have a greater impact over the persons, and I can lead them, not as a leader, because as a friend also. So I'm planning for my management things, and recently I have worked upon the LinkedIn profiles, and I have been able to network people through this. It gives me a lot of opportunity to learn things, because life is all about learning things and making changes in ourselves. So yeah, I think that we should understand the purpose of life and work upon it.
Amazing, Lakshmi. So actually,
Very nice.
Lakshmi is my junior, and he's been really passionate to get in the armed forces, and he is now in Infosys. And we got on a call and we were discussing about how his journey has been and what he wants to do. And I asked him to transform. I forced him to transform because I knew this was, if he is not doing that, we are not going to do with a regular way, because there is no regular now. Everything that we are doing is based on the strategy and the planning that we are changing every single day. If you see big organizations, especially, I'm not considering about the MNCs, the multinational, they have already said. I'm talking about those unicorns who are striving it really hard, because I come from that background after my defense world. So they are really striving hard in order to adapt to every single thing. Because if they lose out this time, they won't be able to be that big, which they planned for. And their dreams, their ambitions, and the investment are at stake. And if that is happening, they will make sure that they make the most of this VUCA world. So thank you so much, Lakshmi. Is there anyone else who wants to open up, who wants to discuss?
Samiksha, Jyoti, would you like to add something to it?
Yeah, this change, I feel this change has given us a chance to understand ourselves and made us more clear about our passions. And hence, here we are, I feel.
True. Yeah, well said. Jyoti, anything you would like to add or want to share?
Yeah, actually, I think, sir, because I'm related to the higher education and I've been teaching in a rural area college, and I have seen that due to this pandemic, a lot of changes I have seen in my own working style and in my college student also. So I think now now our visa changed from the offline to the online, obviously, and lots of things we are required to do. But the problem is that how can we take an initiative in this thing? I mean, preparing some online tutorial and all that things is easiest way. But when we looking around the students who are from the rural background, and they are not
Correct.
able, yeah, they are not able to get the content easily. In fact, in these days, I have connected with them with, and I you can't believe it that I taught them on a mobile phone with my call. So
Very nice.
so so I believe that if some ground level work should be initiated, then the real change can be possible in this situation.
I agree. I completely agree with you, Dr. Jyoti. Now there are two things. One is internal forces. One is and other is external
External
forces.
cause. Yes.
As far as change is concerned, I think teachers ने सबसे ज़्यादा adapt किया है आज के environment में.
Yeah.
उनसे better example मेरे पास कुछ नहीं है. I mean, not knowing to open a laptop to giving online classes, whether it's Zoom or कोई भी mode हो. I mean, kudos to them, right?
Yes.
And now comes the second part के digital divide है, इसलिए content नहीं available students के पास. So I think आप अपना काम कर रहे हैं, आप अपना impact दिखा रहे हैं, जो आपका passion है. अब एक्सटर्नल फोर्स में स्कूल ओनर्स और गवर्नमेंट को आना चाहिए, जहाँ पे डिजिटल डिवाइस की हम बात करते हैं. जब बच्चे के पास लैपटॉप या मोबाइल ही नहीं है तो वो बेचारा ऑनलाइन कैसे करेगा?
Exactly.
Right.
So this is a Pandora box. I mean, school owners have to come in, pitch in the technology. I mean, so I think these are external forces. जब तक गवर्नमेंट और स्कूल ओनर्स नहीं आएंगे, ये वन साइडेड ही रहेगा. But yes, as a teacher, as a professor, as a lecturer, we are trying our level best to impart what best we can give to our kids. So I think kudos to you. आप लोगों ने ऑनलाइन को इतनी अच्छी तरह अडेप्ट किया है, irrespective of वो जूम के थ्रू है या LMS के थ्रू है. So I think as a professor, as a teacher, हमें बहुत वैल्यू एडिशन मिला है इस पेंडेमिक सिचुएशन में. जो हम लैपटॉप खोलना नहीं जानते थे, यूज करना नहीं जानते थे, नाउ एटलीस्ट वी नो हाउ टू प्रिपेयर अवर प्रेजेंटेशन फॉर किड्स, irrespective of कि उनको टेक्नोलॉजी है या नहीं है. बट मेरे लिए ये नई लर्निंग है. सो आई एम श्योर 3 months 6 months डाउन द लाइन जब ये वाला हमारा हाइब्रिड मॉडल होगा, ऑफलाइन वर्सेस ऑनलाइन, देन यू विल डेफिनेटली गेट अ अपर हैंड इन ऑल दिस स्टफ. सो दैट्स अ वन गुड एस्पेक्ट.
Right. I mean, it's actually, on an individual basis, the way we have transformed, especially the education world, is amazing. Every organization that was an offline and in the education sector have transformed themselves into online as much as possible. And the teachers have gone through the whole transformation. As Mr. Deep said, whether it's making a presentation, recording a video and delivering it. So I know because I have so many professors whom I know from my college times, and they are really finding hard. It was earlier for time, but now they're able to do that. That's really great. So, and even Aditya Aure was raising a hand. He wants to add up something. Yeah, please, Aditya.
Thank you for the wonderful session, Pritam. A lot of great insights. And I have actually 2 questions. If you could help me with that, then I would be really grateful.
Sure.
The first question is, with regards to networking, what is the first step to networking? How do we start with networking? I mean, I don't know if I have done much of networking. So if you can give me some insight. I have one more question, but then after you answer this, we'll go.
Pritam, can I answer this question?
Sure.
Hi, Aditya.
Hello, sir.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, sir. How are you, sir? And may I know your name,
fine.
sir? I'm not
My
able to
name
see.
is Deep Bhatia.
Hello, sir. I can see you now, sir.
Hi. Oh, great. अच्छा आदित्य, you said कि network कैसे किया जाए. First of all, what is your plan? आप किससे network करना चाहते हैं और क्यों चाहते हैं?
हाँ, sir. I want to I would be wanting to network with other psychologists and social workers and also lawyers, because we would be working together in the mental health field, and also
Right. So,
doctors. Yeah.
Okay.
So those
topmost what?
healthcare. Yeah.
Okay.
Healthcare. Yeah.
So have you shortlisted some of the guys of this industry?
Yes, sir. Some of them I have. Yes.
Okay. So you can search on LinkedIn and start connecting with them. One.
Yeah. That
right.
is.
Now
Yes.
now go to their second and third connections. क्योंकि जैसे आदित्य के साथ अगर दीप है तो उनके नेटवर्क में भी आदित्य, दीप और प्रीतम या स्नेहा जैसे ही होंगे.
अच्छा.
Right. You start with a particular guy जिससे आप connect करना चाहते हो and start connecting with second and third degree of connection with them.
अच्छा sir.
Right. और एक थोड़ा सा tedious process है. You connect with everyone.
हाँ sir.
1 महीना 2 महीना उनको करके देखिए आपको वैल्यू एडिशन मिल रहा है या नहीं मिल रहा, and then start cutting them.
Right sir.
I mean either you start increasing your base and then cutting it, or selectively जा सकते हो आप.
Cutting it मतलब
good option. पहले आप सबको invite भेजो, be it a college student, be it everyone else, be it a professional. उसके बाद आप filter करना शुरू करो, आपको value addition कौन देगा कौन नहीं देगा. क्योंकि बहुत सारे corporates में क्योंकि बहुत सारे corporates में भी psychological counselors होते हैं. It's not
हाँ
restricted
सर.
to school and colleges, right?
हाँ सर.
So my take on this: start connecting with it also,
Right sir.
right? So you have now two strategy. जहाँ तुम जाना चाहते हो, one, और commonly सबके साथ connect करो so that you can filter it out after 3-6 months.
ठीक है sir.
Right?
Thank you
So
sir.
One thing I would
this
like
should
to
be a
add
good
here.
option.
Yes sir.
Yeah, one thing I'd add here, like once you are sorted out that these are the people with whom you want to connect, now it's time to take that, from a virtual point of view, wherein you only have a connection and you only have a few messages exchanged, from that to a personal level, to these kind of sessions, whether it's for free. If you just saw, right, the session that I was conducting with professionals across the globe, so they vibe with me. The work that I do and the work they are doing is almost similar kind of work, and that's the reason why I could engage with them. And they had that trust in me that if I can invest 1 hour with Pritam, he is going to make it worth for others. So if you can
Yeah,
have that kind of bonding, once you all sorted out this is my niche, this is where I want to operate, I want to have bonding, then you don't actually need to go out. I mean, opportunities will come your way. And this has actually been happening from last 2 months now, because I've been really focusing on LinkedIn, and not only increasing the connection, that's not important, but actually increasing that bond, because that bond was how I got connected with Mr. D, with Sneha, and with so many other people.
Right.
yeah.
Then you
Can
had
I
a
add
second
one
question.
point to this?
Yeah,
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 Thank you,
Lakshmi,
yeah.
Pritam.
sure.
Please.
Yeah, what I would like to say is the practical manner of thinking that adds value to your question. First, you need to jot down the questions related to psychology and your work field. So, aligned to this goal, if you are thinking about how to be connected and network with psychological people in the field of medical, doctors, lawyers, anywhere, jot down the questions in a paper. Then keep on searching their names on LinkedIn and express your thoughts. They will give you a brief idea and in a highlighted form, and you will be able to connect them and work upon them.
True.
Right.
Amazing.
So actually, Deep sir himself have answered the first and the second question, and
Yeah, please.
thank you, Pritam, and also
I
my
hope,
friend.
Aditya, I hope you are convinced or
Yes, sir.
confused or confused.
I'm mostly convinced, sir.
Okay.
Better things
A
have
bit
been
of
in action.
You need any kind of
good,
help,
good, good.
we all are there over the LinkedIn, and there's not
Definitely,
going to
yes.
be any kind of
Ah,
problem.
Pritam.
Yeah.
But I
So
am
Sneha,
convinced. Yeah.
great, great. Good to
Thank
hear
you, sir.
that. Sneha, thank you. Sneha, would you like to ask something?
Hello, everybody, and thank you
Hello.
for taking me in this webinar. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
don't have anything to ask today, but listening to you all was really good, and making like this was really beneficial. Yes, what Pritam said was very important. That having a purpose is really important, and about uncertainty, I would like to say that uncertainty happens every point of day. I mean, you get into an uncertainty bubble every day,
Every day.
and you have to struggle to get out from there. You can't say. I mean, this is my personal experience that you can't say that I'm really certain about every single thing.
True.
What I'm going to take, what I'm going to do from tomorrow. But yes, having a purpose helps us to come out of that uncertainty bubble rather fast. Because had I not planned to transform or transition from classroom teaching to becoming an instructional designer, and that also in academic field, because I was many companies try to convince me that it would be better, and many informative people also tried to convince me that getting into the corporate instructional design would be better than going into academic instructional design. But my passion was always to develop content for children's education. So that was my purpose, and that drew me to where I am right now, preparing the digital lessons, doing storyboarding and all for children only. So that was my purpose, and I actually would like to tell you that I actually did not know that this is called purpose. I was not aware that this is called purpose. I started slowly realizing what actually PURPOSE is. I mean,
True.
being a teacher, you cannot even think of starting your day without your objectives and aims. and what you're going to teach the day today, and what you're going to do when you go back to your home, because teachers, are always busy at home also thinking about what they have to do next day. So I, that that becomes a purpose I was not aware of. So collectively now I understand what your purpose is, and this is how I am into this field. And yes, after, I mean, I lost my job last year, but still in 6 months of time, after struggling, after doing some freelance work also, I thought I think that that was also was an opportunity
A
that I
learning
got
phase.
when I was, it was a learning phase that I did not have a permanent job, but I got to work
Mhm.
as a freelancer, and that also gave me an idea how to connect with
Yeah.
people working permanently, how freelancers are treated, how freelancers are, what kind of facilities they are provided if they are working with a company on a contract basis, how things happen. So slowly I came to understand all these things. So I now realize that whatever goals I had set, whatever purpose I had in mind is now, I am into right direction.
That's very good. Good to hear
Amazing.
that.
Yeah. So Sneha has already been to the VUCA world and she's experienced it well. And that's exactly the reason why she's able to go through this challenging time so easily. Amazing. So yes, Swabiman is also raising a hand. She wants to add something. Please, Swabiman.
Hello everyone. Good
Hi.
Hi,
evening.
Shubham.
First of all, I want to thank you, Pritam bhai, for inviting me to this beautiful session, and
My
I really
pleasure.
appreciate it for that. And yes, I am just passing my BTech this year, and what I feel that knowing the purpose of life is quite difficult. During my 12th, I was thinking that I will get into a BTech.
I think we have lost Swabhiman's
Yeah,
voice.
I think
Yeah.
there's some.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
Okay, so once he connects, we'll take the question again. So if
Yeah,
anyone
please.
else, if Ms. Samiksha would like to add something.
Yeah, sure. I feel to understand our purpose in life, we need to understand our passion clearly. Means, are we doing something which we actually want to do, or we are doing something blindly which everybody else around the world is doing, and it is good to say, or we are doing something like for sort of living. So here we need to be very clear. I feel so the life will become easier that way. Less uncertainties with that, I hope.
Amazing. That
True,
passion, that
Samiksha.
what we
True.
really want to do turns out to our purpose when you're day and night, the way Shweta, sorry, Sneha said that even at home also I'm thinking of what I have to teach again in the school. Right. So thank you so much, Ms. Samiksha, for adding. And yes, Saviman, we have back. So Saviman, tell me.
Um,
There was a network issues.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I find it is very difficult for every child to find a purpose in life, because until and unless we are forced into certain situation, we can never find a purpose of life. When I was doing my BTech, I just had only single purpose to get a job in IT and just to go with it and settle in my life. But later during my second year, I talked to Pritam bhai and I've told him about my dream that I want to do MBA. I want to belong here. I don't find any interest in this subject and all. He said me that okay, it's fine. You are here, so don't be that much sorry. Just follow your dreams, never give up. So I just completed my BTech for very finally with good marks, and I'm going to pursue a MBA. So finally, I'm going to lead my dream where I truly want to be. So I just find that it's not easy to find a purpose in life until and unless we are forced to certain situations. Like he wanted to become a Navy officer, but due to his vision issues, he's changed his purpose of life. So I think it's very uncertain. I truly agree to this topic that it's very uncertain.
Very true. Yeah.
Adapting
True.
ourselves to the changes will lead to an evolution one day. And like Aditya has highlighted that thing that we want to like the India is not a very happy country. Like
True.
when I was preparing for my MBA interviews, I have gone through many GKs and I have came to know that out of 156 nation, India stand at 144 in happiness index rank. So India
Yes.
is
Now
very
146. 146 now.
okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sorry. So
So
I like to wish him all the best about it and wish him all the luck that you are working as a great vision. Your vision is very good and do make the best out of it. And I hope this session will give you lots and lots of
Amazing.
what-
See, this is the kind of webinar or kind of session that I plan for, wherein it's not only when I am speaking or I'm speaking with the slides on and everything. It's when the contribution comes from all over, because we all have something to share.
Exactly.
And it's my responsibility to make sure that I make that kind of environment, even in a virtual one, which is so difficult. But if I can put in people and their perspective, there's nothing like it. It's like we're having tea and we are having a closed session. That's how amazing it is. Right. So thank you
Yeah,
so much,
sure.
each and everyone. And yeah, there are participants who missed this session. There are almost open registration that's were there, but they were not able to come to this because of some reason or the other. I was notified earlier from some of them in LinkedIn and over WhatsApp. So I'll do is I'll make a closed community over Facebook if you are on Facebook. And this session is getting recorded. So I'll just keep the session there and upload that totally so that you can all go through it as many times as you want without. And thank you so much for each and everyone's contributions. Really
Thank
nice
you.
having you.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you,
it
thank
was
Pritam. It
really
was
you.
a
fruitful.
lovely
Thank you.
interaction. Thank you,
Worth
Deep.
our time, and thank you everybody. And Aditya,
Yeah,
you have a really good purpose, and I
Thank you.
really liked what you said, and I'm very impressed that I mean somebody is actually deeply thinking about it, because once we really, when we don't think deeply, nothing gets fulfilled, nothing gets done. And what we have seen in the recent times, I think um, everybody from the world, from every country, small or big, everybody is on the same platform, everybody is standing on the same pedestal, everybody is facing a similar problem. So this is how we can understand that somewhere there is one common problem, and that has gone in the brain. There is something related to, yeah, here it has affected it, in our minds it has affected. Yes, and yes. So Aditya, what you thought, what you said was really good, and I also wish you all the best for your
Thank you, ma'am. I wish you all the
doing
best too.
really,
And also to
really
Swami
well.
ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. All. I mean, it's not just for Aditya, but it's for everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
whoever is here, Jyoti or Samiksha also, really, I understand what education world problems are, and what I know what my ex-colleagues are facing these days. They are texting me, can you please help me with the tools that can be integrated with Google Classroom, so that we can incorporate more of it, and we can, our work becomes easy. So I am also, searching with them, and I'm studying, because I can make a quick study now. Being an instructional designer, I'm being into digital world now, so I can make a quick study of it all, and then send them ki ye dekho, ye try karo, ye chalega ki nahi. Some of it I personally know some tools, and some I ask them to try. This is how now things are going on, so I can totally understand what rural children would be going through. So really, really fruitful to have this discussion, and really nice that I joined in.
Thank you so much, everyone, for participating and everyone for being in the session from this whole time. Each and every thought, each and every problem, and everything that was discussed was so fruitful. And that's the reason why we all are now discussing all our problems with each and every one. That's how we are able to connect. That's the level that I think that this session was really a successful session. It's not only knowledge from my side that was going through a bound process, but also coming in. I think that's what is also important to have a successful training sessions. We don't have the feedback, we don't have the input, the output generally is not that good. So thank you so much for all these efforts, and I'm really looking forward for the next sessions and having you in my close community. Nice talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you,
yeah,
Thank
Pritam.
Pritam. Thank
you.
you.
Thank you,
Take
Pritam.
care,
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
Deep.
you.
Thank you, all of you, Aditya, Lakshmi, everybody over there.
yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone. Thank you. Thanks a
And
lot
very
for giving
encouraging
all
too.
this.